Hey everyone, it's Mystic Soul Sister. This is going to be my first official YouTube video. I'm very excited to start it. All day I was trying to think about what I was going to talk about, and well, you know how the universe works, and an idea just kind of fell into my lap actually. So without further ado, let's get started. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about being an empath. I didn't realize that I was an empath until I recognized I was on my spiritual journey. Then I knew there was a name for it. What happened today was I woke up super excited. It was sunny out. You know, I live in the Pacific Northwest, so sometimes it's gloomy, sometimes it's gray. Like earlier it was sunshine and raining and hailing. I was very just energized getting up this morning. I got to sleep in a little bit. My husband took the baby. So I was feeling good. Out of nowhere, after I had been up for a couple of hours, I just kind of noticed I was feeling really sluggish. I had this really weird pit in my stomach. I didn't feel motivated to do really anything. I cleaned the kitchen up a little bit, but I was just telling my husband I feel really just kind of blah, like almost in a depressive state. And I've battled with depression for a long time, so I know how I feel. And so I kind of try to listen to some music to lift up my spirits a little bit. And then I was realizing it was very gloomy outside now. It was raining, and I just realized when I looked outside I felt even more. Now that it's kind of calmed down, it's just kind of sprinkling, but the sun is out, I feel a lot better. I got some sunlight coming in, so my point is that, when you learn about being an empath, you usually think about picking up on other people's emotions, or maybe, being around negative energy, or being in a place that has negative energy. But really being an empath means that you're sensitive on all types of levels. That can be your vision, that can be hearing, that can be the touch, that can be the weather. It's just that you're more sensitive on picking up on changes with energy, and that's why, empaths are sensitive people. So that was something that I didn't know before, kind of how the weather plays such a factor on that. Even though, like I said, growing up here, it's super easy for people to get in seasonal depression, because sometimes there's not sun for months, and it's just rainy and gloomy, and it sets the whole mood. As an empath, if you do notice that your moods kind of come and go and change with the weather, that is most likely what it is, the cause of it. Another thing that kind of comes with being an empath, like I said before, and this is something that is a big thing a lot of people already know, is when you pick up on other people's energies. We are just, like I said, more sensitive to recognizing that energy, and it's more easy for us to pick up on it and allow it to affect our own emotions. Just because we are more in tune and collected, or more in tune and part of the collected. We live individual lives, obviously, but we are more aware of the oneness of consciousness. And so it is very important to make sure that you do protect your physical space from negative people, as well as your mental space, your head space. Because a lot of people will come at you, not physically with knives and, bats ready to beat you up, but with their words, with their energy. Some people are so just toxic. Some people are very draining. And sometimes they don't even mean to, I think a lot of parents tend to have these traits. So it's kind of you love your mom and your dad, and in our eyes, usually they're the role models that we have for how adulthood is supposed to be and how life is supposed to be. So when we get older, we start to notice these little flaws in them, and, behaviors and bad traits that just aren't good for anyone. And so it's very important to make sure that you know how to separate your feelings and your emotions from those of other people, because it's very easy for us to pick up on those behaviors and things. I believe that's why a lot of empaths probably choose to kind of isolate themselves sometimes. It's very good to make sure you have that time to collect yourself, to make sure that you are keeping yourself balanced and aligned, instead of trying to juggle your feelings, your emotions, your viewpoints of the world, and then having other people throw theirs on top of it. Like it gets messy. If you do any sort of shadow work, so if you do anything where you're trying to tackle the darker side of you, or those traits and behaviors that don't serve you anymore, don't have any more positive outputs for you, being an empath kind of helps you pinpoint those things out. For an example, so my mom is also an empath, and she's just the sweetest. She's such a sweet person. She always wants to help, even if people are taking from her. And I love her so very much. But I've noticed that sometimes when I was talking to people and someone would say something I didn't agree with, or someone would say something that I felt like was an attack on my person, I would get super defensive. And I can go from a 3 to a 15 in 0.2 seconds. Like I yell. I'm a yeller. I don't know. But, and it's not necessarily that I'm super angry or mad at that person. I just get really defensive and having to defend my point of view, or defend my actions or my reasons for doing things. And I realized that was a trait I picked up from my mother. So I would be talking to her about something, and I would kind of like question why she did something this way instead of another way, and immediately it's like a switch went off, and she would go from just really talking to me calmly to, well, I did like this because I did it. Like, whoa, I'm just asking a question, not trying to start anything. But that reflection helped me see, oh, Jazz, this is why you do that. You do that. That is something that you do that isn't necessary. It's not a trait that I have to do anymore. When my father was around in my life, he was very confrontational. Everything was a battle with him, like everything. And he wasn't the smartest man to like make such claims that he was. And to be fair, not to give the man any credit, but in between some of the random things that he said that at the time I thought was really like stupid or like dumb, now that I've gotten older, I have like reflected and see what he was like trying to say. But nonetheless, that trait of me having to immediately start defending myself and defending my actions came from talking to my dad, and came from me having to prove something about me being educational, or about me being intelligent, or me, being factual, me knowing what I'm talking about. I always feel like it's something I have to protect. I realized that is a trait I get from my mother because she got it from her mother. I was talking to my grandmother, and she was babysitting my daughter, and I came back and she was like, yeah, she was fussing a lot, which isn't like my daughter at all. She's like super chill almost all the time. Unless she's hungry, she's sleepy, or she needed a diaper change. And so, I got back and my grandma was like, yeah, she just was fussing the whole time you were gone. And I was like, that doesn't sound like Lulu at all. I was like, oh, well, it's her diaper. And my grandma was like, well, I didn't check her diaper. And I was like, why would you not check her diaper, Grandma? Like, she's a baby. She's 9 months. And immediately she went defensive. She started explaining to me all the reasons why she didn't check the diaper, even though it was the very simple thing to do. And I mean, I wasn't mad. I wasn't like, Grandma, I can't believe you. I was just like, you should have checked the diaper. That's why she was fussing. But my grandmother got super defensive. And she went into this defensive mode where she felt like she was being attacked. And so she had to defend herself and defend her honor. And I realized that's where my mom got it from. And I realized that's where I get it from. And so being an empath has definitely helped me pick up on that a little bit more, because as an empath, you are better in tune with not only your emotions and how you feel and the reason why you feel it, but you can pick up on other people's emotions and feel why they are feeling the way that they do. for me, that is kind of how my whole... I didn't realize it at the time of growing up that I was an empath, and that the reason why I was so wrapped up into making sure everyone was always happy and trying to help people was because literally when people felt bad, I felt bad. And so now that I'm finally getting a grip on my abilities, I no longer feel like I let other people's emotions kind of drown out my own. I'm usually pretty good at keeping mine separated from like my husband's or my mom's, anyone else's that I'm around. And that's a skill that I definitely have picked up on since I've realized I was on my spiritual journey, which has been really cool so far. As an empath, I have, like I said, found it very important to start protecting my energy and my space around me, because now I realize how so much energy can be absorbed in such in space. You can feel the tension in the room after someone's been arguing. Even if they're quiet at the time, you can still kind of just feel like something's off. And it's even worse if they're actively arguing, because you can just feel it super tight. Everyone is tight in the room. Regardless of how you feel about the people arguing, the room is just tight. And when you're, at a birthday party or somewhere where everything is fun and everyone's partying and laughing, you can feel the lightness in the air. And so when you are in certain spaces and certain energies or certain people are around you, you want to make sure that you can keep the energy light and fun. It requires a little bit of work, but just like cleaning your floors and sweeping and doing your dishes, doing your laundry, these are all required housework. We should also make sure that we are cleaning our house energetically. We are cleaning the energy and the space in between, the physicality of the actual house. I actually started my podcast the other day as well, and I'll leave a link in the description, because I do talk about how to cleanse yourself, how to do, I do a shower protection spell on there, which talks about, make sure that you're cleansing your energy and protecting it at the same time. I won't go into too much details in this video about it, because I do talk about it on the podcast, but that is something that as an empath is very important to know how to do. You want to make sure that you're keeping your mind, body, and soul cleansed and protected at all times. Because if one is threatened, then the others can be threatened as well. It kind of lets down the defense guard of it all. So just make sure that you are, choosing the people you choose to spend your time with wisely. People who are too excited, sometimes they take a lot of your energy too, because it's like you're up there with them energetically, but it's like mentally it's draining, because you're like, this person is so peppy, this person is so excited all the time. Which kind of seems like rude, but it's like you can tell when people are compensating. And so that overexertion of energy is taxing on you. Kind of like sitting in the sun all day. The sun is beautiful, it gives us energy, but if you sit in it for too long, you might start to feel drained. So you just want to make sure that you're going to always be keeping, you keep good company. And then if you can't keep good company, to keep, your mind, and your energy protected. So make sure you follow those. I am going to be doing free tarot readings for the month of April. So each week I'm going to pick about 10 different clients that are going to be able to get free tarot readings. So if you're interested in that, you can just leave a comment down below, or go follow me at Mystic_Soul Sister at Instagram or Facebook. Like I said, I'm trying to get everything started and taken off now. Maybe hit the subscribe button for here. Please do so, as well as the little notification bell, because like I said, I'll be posting kind of sporadically or all the time, and you're never going to know. So this way you'll get those alerts, and they'll let you know when I post something new. If you guys have any ideas, comments, questions, concerns, please let me know down below. Other than that, That's it for me. It's your girl, Mystic Soul Sister. One love and light.